The rest of the Premiership let out a collective groan as Manchester United hit top spot for the first time this season. It appears the reports of their demise were somewhat premature. Then this week came the news that the others definitely didn't want to hear. Sir Alex Ferguson has put his retirement plans on hold and is set to sign a new contract extension this week. He'll be in charge of the champions for a few more seasons yet. His players have been pretty persuasive of late. 10 wins from 11 Premiership matches has put Sir Alex back in contention for a possible 8th Premiership title.
So it is Beckham. Oh! Fantastic!
Today they travel to the Valley to take on Alan Kirbishley's Charlton-athletic. The Addicts are on course for their highest ever Premiership finish, and big match viewers have already seen their credentials against the best the Premiership can offer.
Euell's got a chance to score again. It's 4 for Charlton.
Last year's game produced a 3-3 thriller. Charlton fighting from 3-1 down with 11 minutes to go. And later in the show, we'll hear from the man trying to stop the red machine. He's hoping he won't need to use a lifeline. It's Charlton Athletic versus Manchester United, live from the Valley in just under 30 minutes. Now then, my guests today, John Barnes and Clive Allen are here. Welcome, boys. Newcastle won yesterday. Liverpool thumped Ipswich and back on top of the Premiership, Clive, and they look pretty awesome too.
They were, Russ, and I must hold my hand up here. I wrote them out of the Championship race a couple of weeks ago with the fixtures that were coming. Away at Leeds, away at Manchester United, and a massive victory at Ipswich. They've won all 3, haven't conceded a goal. They are in the race. And from an England point of view, with this international coming up this week, and a Liverpool point of view, this Heskey-Owen axis seems to be working again, doesn't it?
Yeah, the partnership. I mean, you know, Michael is still the #1 goal scorer. Emil has done really well, you know, in the last 3 matches, the goals he scored. But whatever the amount of goals he scored, really, he's given the team a hell of a lot. And that's why they like him. And that's why, although he hasn't been scoring, they stuck with him, because fine, even when he's struggling a little bit to score goals, as Clive will tell you, what you need is you need encouragement. And they've encouraged him. He's had a little pep talk from H.R.H, by all accounts.
Yes.
And his work rate and his selflessness for the team meant that, regardless of his goal scoring, he's always going to be the #1 player in the team.
OK, well, Liverpool certainly the performance of the weekend. Confirmation for you at the moment. They are top of the Barclaycard Premiership. Of course, Manchester United could be there if they can beat Charlton at the Valley this afternoon, and that's our live match. And at the bottom of the Premiership, Leicester City beginning to look in desperate trouble, and Derby County and Blackburn Rovers now are in the bottom 3 as well. So Alex Ferguson and his team have arrived at the Valley this afternoon, and we'll talk some more with the boys about Fergie in just a couple of minutes. But he's a man who's looking pretty confident. It's a big game for his players this afternoon. It may be some time before another Premiership manager disposes of Sir Alex Ferguson as English football's top club coach. Let's take a look at some of the reaction to his decision to stay as manager of Manchester United.
I've got you under my skin.
So the song remains the same. A new contract and a new salary, in exchange for which Britain's most successful manager is expected to carry on the old domination.
We came into training on Tuesday morning and he just come in before training and said, you know, it's a big decision, I've decided to stay on.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, of course, very. Over the moon.
Why not? He's a young man. As far as I'm concerned, Alex, it's the best thing he could have done.
Delighted for him. I think, like everyone else, I was under the impression he was going to retire at the end of the year. So I'm delighted he changed his mind, because that's, I think, a good thing for Manchester United and a good thing for football in general, that they're not losing someone who has had a tremendous impact in English football over the last few years.
It's obviously his outstanding dedication and love for the game that has come through, and his addiction to football, quite simply, with a magnificent team that he doesn't want to leave, and he wants to achieve more than he's already done.
But he's still got great passion for the game. And that's down to Alex's family, and I'm not surprised at all. This year, next year, another year, that team will be peaking, and it would seem a shame him not being there to actually see that.
Steve McClaren talking about Sir Alex Ferguson, and the newspapers today showing Alex Ferguson talking about Steve McClaren, saying that maybe he might like to go back as his number 2. One or two of the papers carrying that story, as you can see there. It's an interesting twist, isn't it? Because to all intents and purposes, we think that Steve McClaren is happy at Middlesbrough, but is there any credence in that sort of story?
I think there might well be, Russ, because certainly Sir Alex is calling the shots at the moment in terms of the contract negotiations and the way they've gone. He's getting what he wants at Old Trafford at this present time, and one of the stipulations may well be that he wants to bring Steve McClaren back.
It's going to be an interesting story. Watching that develop is going to be more than interesting over the next few days.
I think the only reason Steve McClaren left in the first place was because Sir Alex was going to retire at the end of this year, and then Steve McClaren had to give himself an opportunity to manage, because a new manager coming in may not have given him the opportunity to even remain at Manchester United. But now that he's going to be there for another 3 years, the chance of working under him and possibly even taking over Manchester United in 3 years may be too big a carrot for him. But he's only been at Middlesbrough for a short space of time, and he may say he wants to see it through.
Sir Alex firmly in control at Manchester United. We understand that he should sign a new contract sometime this week, but it certainly won't be tomorrow. Now, the Manchester United team, how are they going to line up this afternoon, Clive? In a big game for them, really, because they'll want to be back on top, won't they?
They will want to be back on top. And it's one of those tricky games, but one in which, you know, the champions-elect normally come through on. And, you know, you look at the side, probably the only missing link is Veron, who is on the bench. There's been a lot of speculation about him, but this is a side that have put together a magnificent run of results, and Sir Alex doesn't really have to tinker a great deal with it.
And Fabian Barthez got a back injury, so he's not playing this afternoon.
That's right.
John, your old club, Charlton Athletic, 4-4-2, do you think?
Yes, it will be 4-4-2. I know that Alan Kirbishley likes to match up, so he'll be emphasising the physical aspect of winning, well, trying to win individual battles when you're talking about man for man. But they'll try and match them physically. The most interesting one for me is Kevin Lisbie playing up front. You've got Johansson and Svensson on the bench. Lisbie came out against Aston Villa, won a penalty, nearly changed the game, and he seems to be a super sub. When he comes on, he's very energetic, and now he's going to be given an opportunity from the start. It's interesting because he's got a lot of skill and a lot of pace, and he's very direct. He may look at the Manchester United back four and think that we can get at them, and that's why I think that Lisbie's actually been brought in.
Charlton, of course, got a draw at Middlesbrough last weekend. They'll be hoping for a victory against Manchester United at home today, and we can hear from their manager, Alan Kirbishley. He's talking to David Jones.
Alan, a big test for you today against opponents who've won 10 out of 11. How do you prepare for that kind of opposition?
Well, I think that we know that we're playing against a fantastic side. And a side that supposedly was having a bad time until they clicked into this run. But, you know, we look forward to it. I think that the thing about Man United is that we know everybody's got to play them twice, and you just got to get on with that. And we're looking forward to today's game, and if they're anywhere as near as exciting and as close as the two games we've had with them previously here, then we'll be delighted. But who knows, may go on and win it today.
You've had 2 clean sheets in your last 2 games. Is that the priority again today, or do you try and impose yourselves?
We lost our way a little bit, you know. We went up to Blackburn and got beat 4-1, and nice entertaining game, but you know, we should have done a lot better defensively. And you know, we came back in, got beat by Villa, so after that, you know, we've had to tighten up. You can't keep giving early goals away like we have. But no, we're looking forward to today's game, because I think Alex knows as well as anybody that you know, when Man United come to town, everybody looks for the fixture, and you know, I think teams raise their game, and we will certainly have to raise our game. We know that, but yeah, let's wait and see.
Alan Kirbishley, just around 20 minutes now to kick off at the Valley. After the break, we're going to be chatting to the man faced with stopping Ruud van Nistelrooy. Mind you, he's got one thing on his side.
I've heard the news that Van Nistelrooy is a closet Charlton fan, so I'm sure he won't be obviously firing on all cylinders, because he wouldn't want to put his favourite side down the league.
Welcome back to the Big Match Live. I didn't know that Sooty was a Charlton Athletic supporter. Or maybe he's waving to the United travelling support, who knows. Sue's not with him though. 15 minutes to kick off in our Big Match Live this afternoon. Charlton Athletic welcoming the richest club in the world to South London today. But as Tom Skippings has been finding out, they too have millionaire status.
It's almost 10 years since it reopened for business, but the Valley is still very much work in progress. Charlton Athletic plc is a concern that's going places, and so is the chairman's other business. Richard Murray's company owns 49% of the world's biggest game show. But who wants to be a millionaire when you've helped save a football club? OK, Richard, here we go. Question 1. What has been Charlton's biggest achievement in the last 10 years? Is it returning to the Valley, reaching the Premiership, balancing the books, or beating Arsenal at Highbury last November?
I think I don't need any help for this one. I think it's returning to the Valley.
Final answer?
That's my final answer. If we hadn't returned to the Valley, we wouldn't have the spirit of Charlton, which, in a way, you know, is the platform for everything we do there. It wouldn't be the same.
Here's the next question. What will be most important to Charlton in the next 10 years? Will it be surviving in the Premiership, the formation of a Premiership 2, hanging on to Alan Kirbishley, or beating Manchester United on Sunday?
Retaining our Premiership status. Our first ambition each year is to be at least fourth from bottom. In fact, it's to get 40 points as early as possible and then see where can we take it from there.
Which success story is closest to your heart? Only 2 options. Is it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or Charlton Athletic Football Club?
Charlton Athletic Football Club.
You sure about that?
Absolutely positive.
Our next contestant, Dean Kiely of Charlton. OK, Dean, here's the first question. Which Manchester United striker do you most fear on Sunday? Is it Ruud van Nistelrooy, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Paul Scholes, or Diego Forlan?
I would go for Solskjaer.
Final answer?
Yeah. I look at him and I think he's fantastic, and I've heard the news that Van Nistelrooy is a closet Charlton fan, so I'm sure he won't be obviously firing on all cylinders because he wouldn't want to put his favourite side down the league. Apparently when he was playing away in Holland, he picked an English side and it was Charlton.
OK, and the final question, and remember you can phone a friend, perhaps Ruud van Nistelrooy would do. Here we go. Who will win the Premiership title? Manchester United, Arsenal, Newcastle United, or Charlton?
Without a doubt, I think Manchester United will win it. I've said from day one, regardless of the blip. So it's Man United, but hopefully they can do it without picking 3 points up on Sunday.
Richard Murray and Dean Kiely, they're good sports, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all that. But on a serious note, Charlton really are the perfect model, aren't they, for a small Premiership club. If they want to survive in the Premiership, copy what Charlton do. They do absolutely everything right on and off the pitch generally. Dean Kiely there, under the Grand Inquisitor Tom Skippings, answering the questions well. But when it comes down to the football, he's afraid of Solskjaer, but he's got to be aware of Van Nistelrooy as well. He's off to the World Cup, as we know, with Ireland, but he's got a job to do this afternoon.
He has got a job to do, Russ, but he's been in magnificent form all season, you have to say that. And you talk about the progress that Charlton's made as a club, that really, for them to be in the position they are in the Premiership at this stage, if you look back just 5 years, they were literally going out of business. And he epitomises everything as well about the nature of the players, the way the club's run, and really the whole environment down at the Valley. And it is a fantastic success story, it really is.
John, Paul Scholes, what's changed for him? Nothing was going right for him. He starts playing well, and United surge up the table.
Well, I think that he prefers the role that he's playing in now. When he's playing off the front man as one of two and maybe playing off him, I don't think he's very comfortable there. He likes to play in midfield as an attacking midfield player, coming from deep, working one of the two central roles, and I think that they have Solskjaer and Van Nistelrooy up front, and that makes his role easier. And you know, he was very humble in saying that he doesn't think he's playing well. I don't think the system Manchester United were playing suited him, and now you can see the benefits of it because he really has come back on form. Here you can see he's coming from a deep position. and this is where he likes to make his runs from. You know, and he's probably the best finisher. People talk about Van Nistelrooy, Solskjaer. If you speak to the Man United players, I spoke to Dwight York about him, and he said he thinks he's the best finisher in the Premier League, never mind just at Manchester United, taking into consideration the Van Nistelrooys, the Robbie Fowlers. He says that in terms of just pure finishing, they say Paul Scholes is one of the best in the Premiership.
From free kicks, probably the best is David Beckham, who was rested, as we all know, and a few eyebrows were raised at Sir Alex doing that. But his renaissance is well and truly on now, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think he has definitely benefited from the rest. I think we've seen him come back with an attitude in that he wants once again to show everybody what he's capable of, and you shouldn't ever question Sir Alex, because certainly he, without a doubt, knows his players, and the example of that is David Beckham. He's now come back firing on all cylinders. I think his range of passing, especially in the last few weeks, has been absolutely sensational.
And his contract situation probably going to be sorted out sooner rather than later, you would have thought, with Sir Alex now possibly staying for 3 more years.
Yes, I think so. I think that you know, David Beckham is an integral part of Manchester United Football Club, and I don't think in any shape or form that they will want to lose him.
OK, talk some more in just a minute. We're at the Valley this afternoon. The ground is looking terrific. It's going to be a full house this afternoon. Manchester United are in town, and the whole match here on the Big Match Live, kicking off in just a few minutes' time. Manchester United, who's going to win, Clive?
Well, it was a fantastic game last year, and 3-3, and I think again there will be goals. I just think once again Manchester United have too many good players and goal scorers on view. Away victory.
John?
Well, I'm going to go along with Clive with an away victory. Maybe a draw, but nevertheless I can see goals in this.
OK, talk some more at half-time. Charlton against Manchester United. It's coming up live. Your commentary team, Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Welcome to the Valley for a fixture that produced one of the best games in the Premiership last season. Charlton Athletic against Manchester United. Well, the fans here still talk about that classic 3-3 draw, and all the signs point to more goals today. Manchester United are the Premiership's great entertainers this season. An incredible 99 goals have been scored in their 26 league games so far. And Brian Marwood, it's difficult to see this being a 0-0 draw today.
No, I think there's so many goals, isn't there, within this Manchester United football team. When you look right around the pitch, you know, they really have got some fantastic ability, not just only up front, but you know, when you look at the midfield, Beckham's got 9 goals, Ryan Giggs 7 goals, Scholes, actually disappointing for him, 5, but you know he will get into goal-scoring areas. But you know, everywhere you look, it's such an attractive looking side going forward, Manchester United. But can Charlton get at United?
Yes, United leading scorers in the Premiership, 64 goals already. You really can't envy the job that Charlton's defenders have today.
No, I think Ilic has changed his system in recent weeks, and certainly an area of the game where they're going to have to be absolutely spot on. This is them against Aston Villa when we were last here at the Valley, and more interestingly is the position of the 2 centre-halves. Alan's decided to go back to a back 4 today, and they're certainly going to have to defend a little bit better than on that occasion. And again, here's another example of how split the 2 centre-halves of Costa and Fish get. And when you do get in behind them, that really is going to give you all sorts of problems. The determination of Boateng allowing Juan Pablo Angel to go through and score a second goal for Villa. And this is now with them playing 3 at the back, and I think this helps them. It certainly did against Middlesbrough last week. When one gets drawn out, as we can see from Konchesky, they've still got 2 in the box. But Alan Kiely has decided to go with the back 4 today, having kept 2 clean sheets with 5 at the back.
George Costa, one of the central defenders in the team selected by Alan Kiely today. We know all about United's current form of the moment. Brian, what do you make of Charlton's?
Well, I think disappointingly, it seems to be their home form. I mean, they've only won 16 points from a possible 39 at home, which really is a disappointing return. I think over the course of their Premiership life, they have certainly done better at home. But as I said earlier, they kept those 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games against Middlesbrough and Derby. That will give them optimism. It'll certainly give them a little bit more confidence, but they will know they're in for a test today. This Manchester United side, going forward in particular, is just something else.
The best championship battle for many years developing, and Alex Ferguson's decision to stay on as the man at the helm at Old Trafford can only be good news, surely, for United this season and probably in the next 3 or 4 seasons by the looks of it. What do you think, Brian, will be the key factors in deciding who eventually wins that title?
Well, I think the one thing that Manchester United will have in their favour, Alan, is they've been there, they've done it, they've got the T-shirt, haven't they? And I think that certainly will put them in a very good position. I think probably when you looked at December, early December, they had so much ground to catch up, but they've done that, and they've got a team full of internationals. It's an exciting side. I do still think that there is 1 or 2 problems defensively, and of course Fabian Barthez is not in the side today, so Roy Carroll will come in and occupy the goalkeeping berth. But I think when you look around and you see Liverpool coming into form at the moment, Newcastle show no signs of slipping up. You've said it already, it's a fantastic championship, and you do believe that there'll be another twist in that championship come this evening.
Capacity crowd of 26,000, a terrific atmosphere. Kick-off rapidly approaching. Let's take a check on all the team news. Charlton make 2 changes from the side that drew at Middlesbrough a week ago. Defender Luke Young returns after injury, replacing Jonathan Fortune. And manager Alan Kirbishley opts for the pace of Kevin Lisbie in attack in preference to last season's leading scorer Jonathan Johansson. Central defender Mark Fish has recovered from the knee injury that forced him off at Middlesbrough last week. So the only other alteration is to Charlton's formation. As you've heard, they revert to 4-4-2.
Well, when you really look at this back 4 and the midfield 4, I think it's such an important job. Although Charlton are at home, they know that Manchester United play one way, and that's attack. So it's important that you do have 2 banks of 4, in particular 2 wide players, very experienced. John Robinson wide on the right, Graham Stuart wide on the left. They're going to have to protect the fullbacks, because you know you've got Ryan Giggs bombing on that left-hand side, and you've got David Beckham's ability to pick passes on that right-hand side. We talked already about how defensively they need to be sure of themselves, in particular the 2 centre-halves, Fish and Costa. We looked a little bit vulnerable against Aston Villa when we were last here. As the front 2, if they can get the ball up to Euell and Lisbie. Lisbie's got pace, he'll try and get in behind Neville and Blanc, and Jason Euell has certainly found some form over the last 2 or 3 months.
Well, a recurrence of the back injury that's been plaguing Fabien Barthez has prevented Sir Alex Ferguson from naming an unchanged Manchester United team for what would have been the 3rd game in a row. Roy Carroll will play in goal behind a United back 4 of Frenchmen Blanc and Silvestre, plus the Neville brothers, which has now played together in the last dozen games. The rest of the team virtually picks itself at the moment, though Juan Sebastian Veron is now fit enough to be included on a star-studded United subs bench.
Well, Sir Alex has gone on record recently as saying that they don't seem to be making the same errors defensively as they were earlier in the season. And this is borne out. This back 4 now have started the last 11 games, so there's some consistency there. That midfield 4, though, really is terrific, whichever way you look at it. Plenty of movement, plenty of goals, plenty of penetration. And certainly Charlton, as I said, with their midfield 4, are going to have to be absolutely spot on with their discipline. But when they do get the ball forward to the front 2, really do link together extremely well. Solskjaer and Van Nistelrooy, plenty of goals between them, but they really have formed a very formidable partnership.
Charlton's leading scorer Jason Euell has had more success against Manchester United than most Premiership strikers in recent years. He scored 4 goals in 6 games against them for his previous club Wimbledon before his record-breaking move to the Valley. But Euell, like every other striker in the Premiership, is full of admiration for the scoring record of Ruud van Nistelrooy. United's top marksman has scored 17 goals in his last 13 games, and apparently revealed this week he used to be a Charlton fan as a youngster growing up in Holland. The Valley has changed beyond all recognition since Charlton last beat Manchester United here in a league game. That was in December 1955, in the era of Sir Matt Busby. He served the club for 24 years. I wonder if that's another record that could fall to Sir Alex Ferguson. Contract talks will continue, and according to speculation in at least one newspaper this morning, Sir Alex about to sign an extension to his deal that will keep him at Old Trafford till 2005. Well, now we will have a moment's silence as a mark of respect for Her Royal Highness Princess Margaret. A capacity crowd of around 26,000 will be asked by referee Alan Wiley to fall silent now for just a few moments.
Thank you.
Well, there's no doubt that the form book suggests an away win here today. Charlton have only won one of their last 5 games. United's record is 11 wins from their last 13. Charlton 10th. They're on 33 points from 25 games, which actually is more than they had at the same stage last season, and they finished 9th. Manchester United 3rd on 51 points, a point behind Liverpool and Newcastle. If they win, of course, today, the champions, they will go back to the top of the table, 2 points ahead of Liverpool. Even a draw, in fact, would see them return to the leadership on goal difference. Manchester United playing in their change strip today of white shirts and black shorts. Luke Young back in the Charlton Athletic ranks, having missed the last 3 games with an ankle injury he received in a juddering challenge in the game here against Aston Villa. An awkward ball for Silvestre to control. Beckham's little header over the head of Scholes. Giggs loses out. And that was an excellent through ball for Lisbie. Robinson's cross blocked. And the strong wind is at Charlton's backs in this first half. They've set out as though they mean to make the most of it.
Well, Gary Neville's just given Laurent Blanc a very stern look indeed, because he was looking to play offside there. Lisbie had escaped the offside trap, and that was down to Blanc's positioning.
Mark Fish on the near post trying to win the header. Silvestre got there ahead of him, and Giggs skies his clearance. Again, really held up in the wind, but it breaks kindly for Solskjaer, who's got Van Nistelrooy up ahead of him. Parker getting back, and Van Nistelrooy just unable to keep it in play. A lightning-quick counter-attack by United.
Well, this is where you really have to be focused and disciplined, because really this has stemmed from a throw-in that Charlton have in the final third, but United break so quickly with the pace and the ability that they have. Solskjaer does very well here, but just look how ragged at times Charlton look when they are defending. Just a little bit too far for Van Nistelrooy at the far post.
Charlton have won only one of their last 5 League and Cup games. A 1-0 victory here in their last home game, in fact, against Derby in the Premiership. They were knocked out of the FA Cup recently on their own ground against Walsall. And their goalless draw at Borough a week ago means they've only scored 4 goals in those last 5 games. Beckham and Phil Neville, 2 of the 5 United players in the England squad. And here's Giggs. Scholes, another of the England contingent, sets it up for Keane. There's a good block, but the United skipper going in hard. Parker likewise with Scholes, who brought him to the ground. Referee Wiley correctly opts the play on, and then great covering by Gary Neville, although Charlton get a throw out of it.
Oh, excellent referee by Alan Wiley. He spotted that the tackle from Scholes was late. Just having a word now with the Manchester United midfield player. It's a correct decision. Not only has he allowed play to go on, very much unlike a lot of referees these days, that he hasn't gone straight to brandish the yellow card.
superb atmosphere as Robinson wriggles away from the tackle. Goes for the return ball. Good challenge by Silvestre. Now Jason Euell. Robinson in hard again and beats Keane to it.
There seems to be a buzz about Charlton in the moment. They really have come out very quickly indeed. That's just the start that Alan Kiely would have wanted from his side. A high tempo.
Mark Fisher's again come forward for the long throw. It's gone beyond him. Blanc's clearance. Was Bart-Williams. Parker trying to find some room. Ends up giving it away to Roy Keane. The United skipper couldn't go back to his goalkeeper. That route was cut off by Kevin Lisbie. How well he got out of a very tricky situation. Here's Chris Powell, the only Charlton man in Sven-Göran Eriksson's squad. Kiely's clearance onto the head of Euell. Lisbie linking well again with Jason Euell. On it goes to the captain, Stuart. Here's Lisbie again. Really good early tempo to this game. Kevin Lisbie for Charlton. Stuart has Parker to his right. Scott Parker straight into the chest of Laurent Blanc.
Well, the pace of Charlton's game at the moment is excellent. They really have kept the heat on Manchester United, but they know they can't afford to give away unnecessary possession. And United having one opportunity on Solskjaer, and Van Nistelrooy broke very quickly. The manager's making notes very quickly in this game. He'll be nicely surprised with the tempo that his side have shown so far.
Manchester United with 10 wins in their last 11 league games, remarkably. Liverpool, the only team to beat them since they lost 1-0 at home to West Ham 2 months ago. Silvestre clearance. Giggs underneath him. And he wins the throw. The header out by Luke Young, who was twice on the winning team against Manchester United for his previous club, Tottenham. Gary Neville. Solskjaer the target. Van Nistelrooy's up with him.
Well, as a point I was making before the game, Alan, about the two centre-halves. I think this is a little bit too comfortable, really. The way that Solskjaer gets in behind, he's clearly onside. They get very lucky there. It was just too far for Solskjaer. The ball from Gary Neville.
Scored in the 3-3 draw here last season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a game in which Charlton took the lead, only for Manchester United to race into a 3-1 lead. 2 late goals for Charlton, bringing about that incredible 3-3 draw. Gary Neville got that slightly wrong, didn't realise exactly where Carroll was. An unnecessary corner conceded by the champions.
Well, you just have to be a little bit careful, because the back four will be used to playing any balls back to Fabien Barthez on Barthez's left-hand side. They're now going to have to rethink that, because Carroll is predominantly right-footed.
Oh, it was difficult for the goalkeeper. Here's Beckham. What a ball out that was for Giggs. Magnificent. Giggs looks for Scholes. So typical of Manchester United. Defending the corner at one moment, threatening the opposition goal the next.
Well, it's twice in the opening 7 minutes that they've done that. But, you know, Charlton are the home side. They'll want to take the game to Manchester United, and they have done that.
Euell up against Gary Neville. Bart-Williams. Parker linking again with Chris Bart-Williams. Ambitious ball. Lisbie did his best, but I think he also nudged the Manchester United defender Silvestre. That'll be a free kick. Well, the capacity full here today at the Valley. They're taking every vantage point to try and see this game. Manchester United went top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership for the first time this season after a 3-1 win at Southampton that you may have seen on this channel. They had, of course, slumped to 9th in early December, 11 points behind the then leaders Liverpool, who also had a game in hand. What an incredible turnaround it's been by United. But they've been under the cosh a little bit early on here. Powell. Stuart. Looking for Euell, or even coming in behind him, Robinson, but Carroll collected safely. David Beckham was stayed down after a challenge a minute or so ago, and that's worrying for United and for the England cause.
Well, David Beckham took quite a fierce challenge from behind by Jason Euell. He really is looking for one of his front players to make a run, perhaps held onto the ball just a little bit too long, and because of that, quite a whack in his ankle.
Here he is. Silvestre. Good tackle by Parker, really tenacious little midfield player, Scott Parker, who's in the England under-21 squad. They've got an away game next week against Slovakia.
Well, they're working very hard. I talked about the discipline that Charlton would need to show the back four and the midfield four, and at the moment there is a lot of good work going on. Robinson, Bart-Williams, Parker and Stuart in particular.
Scholes. Neville. Blanc. And Keane takes over. Phil Neville. Solskjaer comes to receive it. Costa nicking in ahead of him, but Keane picking up the pieces. And very nearly a great ball out to Giggs. United get it back again. Laurent Blanc. Keane pulling the strings as ever, finds Solskjaer. Good interception by Fish. Costa got a little nudge in the back. Free kick to Charlton. This is Charlton's 26th game in the Premiership. They've won 8, drawn 9, lost 8. If they win today, they'd go above Tottenham and Fulham into 8th position. Distance with the assistance of the win, but it's still United who regain possession. Giggs.
That was a great shame because David Beckham made a fantastic run on this right-hand side. Didn't seem to have shrugged off that knock that he took from the tackle from Jason Euell. Seem overly comfortable at the moment. Big game for England coming up in midweek, of course, to build up towards the World Cup.
He's been bothered by that injury ever since the challenge, and he's still not running freely. Young looking for Lisbie. Bart-Williams. Stuart glances to his left and sees Chris Powell. Stuart, the captain, takes over. Bart-Williams. It's not a bad ball, it reaches Robinson. How many attempts did he need?
Well, fantastic build-up play from Charlton. They really did pass the ball around very well indeed. Zipped it over difficult surface.
Glorious ball again from Beckham, just over the head of Giggs. Skill by Luke Young. Got a bit carried away then. Here's Scholes. And again. Keane. Great run from Solskjaer, who's picked him out beautifully. Giggs. Superb move.
Well, defensively they're at odds again, weren't they? Ryan Giggs ends up with the strop, but just look at the space that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had. That really is criminal in that sort of area of the field. And Ryan Giggs' shot was always going away from being Kiely's goal, but Solskjaer allowed far too much room.
He scored here, Ryan Giggs, in the 3-3 draw last season, and he actually had a shot from the halfway line that hit the crossbar, and Solskjaer scored from the rebound. Euell. Out to Robinson. Silvestre keeping very tight. Young just waiting for Mark Fish to make his way forward. And then he goes towards the big South African, but it was Laurent Blanc who cleared. Then Solskjaer, brave header by Young. And he was determined not to give Roy Keane an easy ride.
He didn't take kindly to the challenge from Luke Young, but why not? He had to go for that, didn't he? Former Tottenham Hotspur defender.
Beckham. And again from Silvestre. The layoff was very untidy and so untypical. Euell unable to take advantage.
Well, they don't seem to have hit any sort of rhythm really at the moment, Manchester United, in this opening 14 minutes. Although they've had a couple of isolated raids, in particular Solskjaer finding some good space. Well, they just seem to be finding their game, or trying to find their game, in that midfield area.
Won 16 of their 26 Premiership games so far. United, no club has won more than that. Newcastle also have 16 victories. But interestingly, United's 7 defeats is the most of all the Championship contenders. They've only drawn 3 times in the league this season. If they win the title, he will become the most successful manager in the history of British football, overtaking one of his great idols, Jock Stein. With Van Nistelrooy. Keane. Laurent Blanc slows it down. Always plays the game at his pace. Giggs with a header on, and then away by Costa. There's Gary Neville. Scholes. Keane helps it on again to Laurent Blanc. His 30th appearance this for United. Giggs with the ball over the top. Powell should intercept with ease, and did.
Well, just floating around a little bit at the moment, Ryan Giggs. Perhaps a little bit frustrated. He hasn't been on the ball in wide left positions that often, so really he's trying to link up with the front two, more down the middle really than wide left.
Nistelrooy, the header away by Costa. Bart-Williams. Stuart takes it on with pace. Lisbie moving inside, taking the defenders away. Bart-Williams again. Now Scholes. Solskjaer, difficult bounce, he read it well. Keane. Neville. Lovely angled ball. Excellent football from Manchester United. Beckham. Giggs has made a great run. He chose the more difficult pass and that didn't come off. Stuart.
Didn't like David Beckham, wasn't it? Because there was some fabulous runs in front of him. Van Nistelrooy made a good run. Scholes also.
There's Parker for Charlton. Could be good if Robinson can reach it, but they really made sure that was a pretty impossible task.
It was a bright piece of play, wasn't it, by Scott Parker. Charlton will be delighted with this start. Alan, I think that they've had a good amount of possession. They've certainly shown the right sort of tenacity. They're playing at the right sort of pace to try and trouble Manchester United. United still haven't found that rhythm.
Premiership's leading scorers. Remember, it's 64 goals and they've rattled in 33 of them in their last 11 games, during which they've had that fabulous winning run. Nistelrooy. Nicked away from him by Costa. Parker looking for Robinson. He gets it back from Lisbie. Jason Euell. Just too many men to beat. Here's Chris Powell. Stuart. The ball over the top for Euell, who's onside. An intelligent ball back to Stuart. Now Bart-Williams, it just reared up, made it difficult to control, and Scholes came in to rob him. Gets it back from Giggs. A lot of men forward for United here. Keane and Silvestre. Giggs on the far post. Scholes. Just tried to play a 1-2 with Van Nistelrooy that was well read by Parker. Euell will do well to find a way out.
Well, certainly the locals are appreciating the performance of their side at the moment.
Parker for them. To get forward against Silvestre again. Goal kick, the verdict.
Good defending by the Frenchman, but certainly when you look at the possession facts, Manchester United shading it. But, Charlton will be absolutely delighted. Mentioned already in this opening 20 minutes, they've set their stall out to try and put United under pressure whenever possible. Certain quickness to their game. Perhaps looking for a little bit more penetration, whether that's going to come in wider areas or whether they can spring one of their central midfield players forward, Bart-Williams or Scott Parker, to join the front two.
Silvestre given away to Parker. Euell's made a fine run and he spotted him. Good anticipation by Carroll.
Well, they get lucky because a better ball there from Scott Parker. Perhaps the wind has just taken it away from Jason Euell, but Euell had acres of space to run into.
Beckham going in hard this time against Bart-Williams. Keane out to Solskjaer. Beckham finally seems to have overcome that ankle problem. Scholes finds Keane. What a good effort that was, and a fine anticipating save by Kiely.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alan, you don't appreciate what a great strike this is, because as his ball is set up for him, that really is in an area of the field where he has to keep his concentration, because there's a lot of bubbles there, a lot of divots, but he really does hit it cleanly. Excellent save from Kiely.
There's Solskjaer. Giggs and Van Nistelrooy in the box, couldn't find either. Costa intercepts. Here's Lisbie. Young with a long ball over the top for Euell to chase. He never read it all the way, but he's given it away to Lisbie. As usual, Roy Keane was the extra man to come back and help when needed.
That's the problem though, Alan. Really, the front two of Charlton at times have been isolated. I can understand why Alan Kirby's decided to play the two banks of four.
With Van Nistelrooy. Just run out of space. I always hope for any team to play against Manchester United these days in that, well, they have a spectacular scoring record. Defensively, no club in the top half of the Premiership has a worse record than Manchester United, who let in 35 goals this season. Trouble is, they almost always outscore the opposition even when they concede. They haven't had a 0-0 draw, incidentally, United, for almost 3 years now, over 100 games. Van Nistelrooy finding Solskjaer. On to Giggs. Scholes. This is Laurent Blanc. Keane. And Gary Neville. Beckham up against Powell. Two men will be together in the England squad for the match in Amsterdam on Wednesday.
Well, I talked about the protection really that Charlton need to give their full-backs of Luke Young and Chris Powell. It's fairly noticeable that we haven't really seen David Beckham on the ball that often, and when Ryan Giggs has been on the ball, it tends to have been him coming in and trying to play just off the front too.
Foul there by Laurent Blanc, and a slightly frustrated reaction, which I'm not sure Mr. Wiley saw, as he was just checking on Chris Powell, who got a knock a moment or two earlier.
Thankfully, Mr. Wiley is certainly, I feel, one of the better referees in the Premier League these days. Certainly not overzealous. He just calms things down and has a very good way about him.
And again, made the right decision there, I'm sure, as Lisbie was being held back by Phil Neville. Bart-Williams will take it, scored the winner from a free kick in the last home game against Derby, his first goal for the club since his move from Nottingham Forest. Not quite sure what he was doing there, going for goal or going for the cross, but it didn't work. And it's ended up all the way back with Dean Kiely.
Well, it's a great shame because it's a wonderful position to have that free kick. But sometimes, you know, when you know there's such a fierce wind, almost try and overcompensate because of that. He certainly didn't get his kick right.
Lisbie up against Gary Neville. Euell.
Well, that's the sort of pace that Kevin Lisbie has got. He'll try and get in behind this back four of Manchester United. If either Blanc or Neville are dropping deep, he's got the pace to exploit that.
Stuart trying to block off the goalkeeper. Fish coming to the near post. Costa is somewhere near the penalty spot. Plenty of others waiting for the knockdowns, and they might have come. Could still yet. Robinson beaten in the challenge by Van Nistelrooy.
Very unfortunate, Charlton. A wonderful set piece. Great little dink to the near post this is from Chris Bart-Williams. The flick is superb. Really is crying out for somebody to try and get on the end of it, and Jason Euell is very close to doing that.
Nudging the back there on Paul Scholes by Parker. Manchester United on 51 points going into today's game. They had 62 at the same stage last season, and they led Arsenal by 15 points. Here's Blanc. Phil Neville. Back into Solskjaer. And on to Keane. Scholes. Van Nistelrooy. Chance! Well, he took it instantly and it almost came off.
Oh, brilliant play, wasn't it, from Manchester United? It was incisive, it was bright, good passing. And this little ball from Scholes just held round the corner to Van Nistelrooy. He gets one-on-one with Costa. And he scored something similar, didn't he, from that position against Sunderland last week. This time he can't find the target.
17 goals in his last 13 games with Van Nistelrooy. Lisbie's flick finds Euell. Robinson. Lisbie again. It's a good layoff. Luke Young. Decent cross. Oh, Carroll really needed to catch that because Jason Euell was flying in behind him.
Good build-up play from Charlton. It's an excellent ball from Luke Young. Just have a look at Jason Euell's position here. He thinks he's actually missed at the goalkeeper. He was in to score.
Keane. Scholes. Too far for Giggs. Stuart. Phil Neville wins it back and gives it away to Costa. Here's Young. Beckham misread it. Costa winning it back and finding Stuart. Bart-Williams. Here's Parker. Young getting forward again. That's good defending by Gary Neville against Lisbie. Again with the Manchester United defender, Scholes to Silvestre, Keane, Giggs, and Euell wins it back. Robinson back to Luke Young. Most of the game being played in that middle third of the field at the moment. There's Lisbie. Charlton's throw. In common with quite a few teams in the Premiership this season, Charlton have actually won more points on their travels than in their home games. They've only managed 4 wins in 13 matches at the Valley. They've drawn 4, lost 5. They only lost 3 games at home in the whole of last season. Parker for them. Blanc steps in to win it ahead of Euell and keeps going. Now Giggs. It's a lovely ball for Beckham. The flick finds Van Nistelrooy. Beckham's there again. Difficult volley, which he hit well. It came off a defender. United's corner.
Well, once again, a very, very quick break. Wonderful footwork from Ryan Giggs there. And you think, really, he's going to try and spot the pass. Just look at Solskjaer here, though, at the far post. He was desperate to get the ball from Van Nistelrooy. It came to Beckham. Just a slight deflection. The frustration of Solskjaer said it all for him.
To the near post, and Nistelrooy inside the 6-yard box too. Played away by Bart-Williams and then Powell. Jason Euell back defending. Cross will be dealt with by Bart-Williams. And Silvestre will come back and win it again. Gary Neville. Here's Blanc to Scholes. Keane. And both teams effectively cancelling each other out so far. Hasn't really burst into life yet.
No, but I think full credit to Charlton Athletic. They really are working hard. Just look at the determination to close down. And you can't blame them. You know, that aspect of the game has got to be absolutely spot on. You know, Alan Kirbishley, Mervyn Day would have been saying to their players before the game, you know, it really is about making sure United don't have too much room to play in, and that's exactly what they've done. They've made it very difficult for the midfield 4 of Beckham, Keane, Scholes and Giggs to have any real time and room on the ball. Just look how deep Roy Keane is dropping to just try and get on the ball.
Oh, what a ball that was. Solskjaer getting in behind the defender. And what a finish by Solskjaer. A brilliant United goal.
Well, how deep I talked about Roy Keane had got. It's a fabulous ball. It really is one of the balls of the season. Just look at the distance here. He pings it really to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but again, you've got to question the defending. And it's over Fisher's head. Fish pulled him back, actually, could quite easily have given a penalty, the referee. But once Solskjaer is in this position, you know there's only one thing on his mind, and that's to finish. And he does it as coolly and as expertly as anybody that there is in the Premier League these days. And it's his 13th of the season.
And his 8th in the last 13 games. The combination of Solskjaer and Van Nistelrooy, as good as any striking partnership that United have had in recent years. And Charlton will be hating the sight of him. He scored in the 3-3 draw here last season and also got the winner against them at Old Trafford last season.
I talked before the game, Alan, about this back four, or in particular the two central defenders of Charlton not getting ragged, not getting too far away from each other. And Solskjaer was so bright, he'd really drawn Fish out towards the Charlton right-hand side, United's left. But it's a fabulous delivery from Roy Keane.
And it was the 100th goal in the league matches that Manchester United have been involved in this season.
Well, that's the ability of this football team, isn't it? That they may not be as fluent as they have been in recent weeks, and fair play to Charlton, they made it very difficult for them. It doesn't take them that many chances to get on the score sheet.
They get something back almost immediately, but Euell wrestled away from possession. Now Giggs. Margaret tracked him all the way. Goal number 65 in the Premiership for the champions this season. Keane. Solskjaer with a flick, and he and Van Nistelrooy for once weren't on the same wavelength.
It's fairly unusual, isn't it, for those two? They really have developed a fine understanding.
Scholes. Now Silvestre. It's a lovely layoff by Van Nistelrooy. Solskjaer's caught offside this time.
Well, look very close, but that's a goal scorer, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But it's a fabulous ball. What a wonderful assist this is from Roy Keane. And just have a look at that ball. He just drops it right in behind Mark Fish. Fabulous first touch. Sets himself up for his right foot. But it's an exquisite ball from the United skipper. Fish really looks very vulnerable in behind.
Van Nistelrooy strong and skillful. Dispossessed, however, by Parker. Euell. And Silvestre's given it away. Euell again. And the goalkeeper to Manchester United's rescue and saving the embarrassment of Michael Silvestre.
Got off, didn't they, with that one, because Jason Euell's tenacity just kept him going. Very nearly created a half chance for himself. That really would have been sloppy defending from United.
From Neville. Blanc tries the ball over the top for Giggs, bit ambitious this time. Well, all the suggestions are that we haven't seen the end of the scoring by any means. Manchester United's Premiership matches this season have averaged almost 4 goals a game. Another lovely ball by Keane, right into the path of Giggs. Luke Young blocks the cross. United get another throw.
They do have so much penetration, don't they, Manchester United, when they do go forward. They've got so many outlets, whether it's in wide areas or down the middle. Keane just beginning to pull the strings more in that central midfield area. Scholes bombing on, trying to join the front two.
Keane. Scholes again, brilliant. Keane. Swept out to Giggs, but the height too difficult for him to cope with.
Well, this is the half chance really that Jason Euell very nearly got presented with. Talked about some sloppy defending really. Silvestre doesn't get his header right, and Carroll has 2 attempts. Very brave with his second one.
The Northern Ireland international making only his 8th appearance for Manchester United today. He started 4 Premiership matches before this one, and he hasn't been on the losing side in any of them. Beckham, Van Nistelrooy. The challenge from Fish was just enough. He's gone for a corner.
Good movement from the front too. There you can see Van Nistelrooy. They could quite easily have run offside there, but he's bright enough to make sure he holds his run.
That's a critical period of the first half, this for Charlton. They can not afford to concede another. Well, that flicked header, I think it was by Bart-Williams, could have gone absolutely anywhere. He was fortunate that it went to Robinson. FA Cup next weekend, but the following weekend, March the 2nd, what a fixture in prospect on this channel from the FA Barclaycard Premiership. We're at St James's Park for Newcastle United against Arsenal. That kicks off at 5:30. There's Phil Neville. Solskjaer. Scholes under pressure, but still found Roy Keane. Solskjaer. And Nistelrooy. Solskjaer wants it back again. Giggs has also arrived. He's gone all the way back to the skipper.
He's not frightened to try his luck from distance, is he, Roy Keane, today? That's probably about the 3rd attempt he's had on goal. Of course, it's his pass that set Ole Gunnar Solskjaer up for the goal that separated 2 sides. So really not bad, is it, away from home? Perhaps not at your best. 7 attempts on goal, and the home side is still to register there first.
United have won their last 5 away games in a row and have 7 wins out of 12 on the road this season. Just 3 defeats at Newcastle, Liverpool and Arsenal. Parker. Bart-Williams. And Parker's found a bit of room. And found Lisbie. 2 in the middle. The cross blocked by Blanc. Corner.
Good challenge from Blanc, but that was better from Charlton. Managed to get into the final third, and more importantly, they had 4 or 5 players in that area of the field.
It was a really tricky corner. Carroll just about grabbed it on the line in the end.
Such a difficult one, wasn't it, for the Northern Ireland keeper to take here. Just look at the bodies in front of him. He's got that swirling wind also to deal with. He has a couple of goes at it, finally claims it, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 players around him.
Difficult bounce at the other end, Giggs almost profiting. Powell at the second attempt lashes it clear, straight to Beckham though. Beckham's lost his boot there, I think. Didn't matter, stocking foot still managed to find Van Nistelrooy.
I think he'll lead it on to take the corner, that's for certain.
Yeah, I don't think even he could do that without the boot. I think they're new boots, so the manufacturers will probably be quite pleased. Dangerous corner he managed as well. Charlton get the throw. 2 minutes to half time. The champions lead 1-0. If they draw or win, Manchester United will return to the top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership. Arsenal, remember, playing against Everton later this afternoon. But that won't make any difference to United's position. Giggs. Now Keane. And Nistelrooy. Can't get the ball back at the moment, Charlton.
This is good possession play by the champions. Really just making Charlton chase them.
Quickly, can they make advantage of that gift? Luke Young. Lisbie's layoff to Robinson, and it goes to Parker. Now Powell. Stuart. Blanc didn't do Carroll any favours then, but he still managed to find Van Nistelrooy with a clearance. Neville. Scholes turned into trouble, but as ever with this United team, there's a teammate on hand to get you out of the mire again.
Well, their ability to pass the ball around in tight areas is certainly another factor that separates them from a lot of other sides. Disappointed to give the ball away in that fashion, though.
As everyone knows, United have lost 7 league games already. Since the Premiership was reduced to 20 clubs, 6 is the most number of defeats by the team that went on to win the Championship. United managed that themselves, and also Arsenal. Stoppage time being played. Clearance. Bart-Williams winning the header. Parker. Now Stuart. There's Bart-Williams again. Wasn't a bad effort, but always going wide.
Well, it's come at the end of the first half. Charlton's first attempt, I think, on goal after 45 minutes. It was a great shame because a lot of their other players have been very good. They've worked hard against Manchester United, tried to make it difficult. But at some stage, they're going to have to take 1 or 2 gambles.
Charlton started the half brightly, but finished it desperately trying to get the ball back off the champions, who had earlier taken the lead with a magnificent goal by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Charlton, as frustrated as any team have been against Manchester United this season, they haven't hit top form, but they're still good enough for a 1-0 half-time lead.
Yes, job half done for Manchester United. 1-0 up. Brilliant ball by Roy Keane. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scoring United's crucial goal in that first half, his 13th of the season in all competitions. Oh, there, welcome back. How was it for you then? Pretty good if you're a Manchester United fan. John and Clive are here in the studio. Not really a match with the sort of ingredients so far that suggests we're going to have a goal fest this afternoon, but Manchester United doing enough.
Yeah, and I think the hallmark of champions really in that Charlton started fast, but that Manchester United moved into the game and moved into top gear, and really the difference between the two sides for me is the quality of finishing, and as we saw with the goal, it was sensational goal, but Manchester United had to just get themselves gradually into the game, which they do so well. It's a wonderful, for some reason the Charlton defence is pulled all over the place. Mark Fish is out at right back. It is the most exquisite first touch, which gives Solskjaer the opportunity with his second to just wind it into the far corner. But Fish is out at right back. Costa is way over the other side of the penalty box, and Luke Young is recovering ground, who should have been in that right back position. So they pulled them apart, Manchester United, but a magnificent pass, brilliant first touch and great finish.
This combination for United that Alex has apparently settled with for quite a few games now, Van Nistelrooy and Solskjaer, really seems to be working, doesn't it?
It has, but when you have 4 midfield players like Manchester United have, you know, with the movement and the quality that they possess. As Clive says, the quality of the pass. You still need the quality of the touch, the quality of the finish that they undoubtedly have, Solskjaer and also Van Nistelrooy. But what complements them really are the four midfield players who have been superb. Because as Clive says, Charlton are really getting at them. But the quality of the movement and the quality of the passing is excellent.
We've got a couple of these midfield stars for United going closer. One that you're particularly keen on, John, Ryan Giggs.
Well, I think that since Ryan Giggs has been back in the side, that's when Manchester United has come good. Ryan Giggs now playing in the middle of midfield. This is where the midfield quartet do move around, and now he's in the middle behind the front man. Probably drifting well wide, but nevertheless, it was brilliant. And it also allows Roy Keane here to get forward and have a shot. You can see David Beckham now there just behind Roy Keane. When Roy Keane goes forward, it's a much better balance. Roy Keane's, it's a great effort. And a fantastic save.
It was a good stop, but the big question, obviously, Russ, is that they seem better balanced without Veron in the side. And you know, we've discussed it, and you can see it, the way they move. They are the best two flank players in the world, I think, at club level, Beckham and Giggs.
Well, maybe ultimately this will put a question mark on Veron's involvement with Manchester United come the end of the season.
Well, I always felt that Veron was bought really for the Champions League, you know, because I suppose when he plays in the Champions League, he has undoubted quality. So therefore, in the Champions League, when you don't really get the rigours of the Premier League, that's when he may be used more often as he was at the beginning. But I think for the Premier League, the four midfield players that you have out there for Manchester United are the best four they have.
Let's talk Charlton. They huffed and they puffed, but they didn't blow Manchester United's house down in that first half. But they had a couple of half chances, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They came in together and they played initially with a high tempo, and they just got in positions where you need that little bit of composure and a little bit of quality. On this occasion, Luke Young should have maybe crossed it first time, but he works the space to cross to the far post, but it's just not precise enough to pick Euell out at the far post.
What about this? A mistake by Mikel Silvestre. This could be their only outlet, really, something like this.
Yeah, quite possibly, and you just wonder whether there's a little bit of lack of communications. Lisbie could easily have taken it on a takeover there and created the opportunity, but that has been the difference, just that little bit of lack of quality in the final third.
OK, thanks for the moment. Now it's your chance to win a fantastic trip. It's a mouth-watering one to an equally mouth-watering match in Italy. Our stunning prize is a trip to see the Milan derby, AC Milan versus Inter Milan at the San Siro Stadium on March the 3rd. Now, Milan is the football, fashion and business capital of Italy, and our winner, and it could be you, will receive a pair of tickets for the game along with flights and hotel accommodation, all courtesy of Ladbrokes. Now, all we want to know is the name of the most recent Premiership player to represent either one of the Milan clubs. Now, was it A, Paolo Di Canio, B, Robbie Keane, or C, Paul Ince? If you know the answer, call 0901 47 47 543. That's 0901 47 47 543. The lines close on February the 10th, by the way, or you can email us on premiership@itv.entries.co.uk. Yes, and don't forget those lines close on February the 10th. Well, there's one goal so far in our match between Charlton and Manchester United. Could this be the goal, if it stays the same, that puts Manchester United top of the Premiership again?
Strap yourself to the sofa. There will be more.
Yes, those ties will be played on Tuesday the 19th and Wednesday the 20th, and be sure to watch what goes on and all the drama with ITV Sport. And don't forget that later tonight, by the way, you can see live nationwide Division 1 action as Birmingham City travel to Bradford, and the programme starts from 5:30 over on the ITV Sports channel. I suppose, boys, that now Sir Alex is staying, he doesn't really have to win the Champions League, does he? Leave it for another year, maybe.
I just wonder, and the interesting thing for me that I found out yesterday was that, you know, we know the Champions League finals at Hampden Park at the end of the season, but Champions League final next season is at Old Trafford, of all places, and maybe he just tempted another crack at it next year as well.
Let's concentrate on our match here, John, now. Manchester United, the speed of their counter-attacks is quite phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you have players like Giggs, Beckham, Scholes getting forward, it's going to make it difficult for teams. But I think the most important thing with any counter-attack is that the players who are going to break forward have to have the confidence. This is a little bit different because that's a bad defensive header, which lets in Solskjaer here, and then he played the ball to Van Nistelrooy and nothing came of it. But in counter-attacking, the players who are breaking forward on the counter-attack have to be full of confidence in knowing that you are going to retain possession. You cannot go forward thinking, well, if you lose the ball, I'll have to get back. You have to go forward with conviction. And the quality Manchester United have, they know that ball was sensational. On his own goal line, to the halfway line to Giggs, the players know he's not going to lose it, so you can float forward. And that was unfortunate. And really, the quality and possession that they have means that the players can go full pelt without worrying about maybe we're going to lose the ball, because they have so much quality and not giving the ball away. You can just concentrate on flooding forward.
What are Charlton going to do? You know, what's Alan Kiely going to say to his players? 1-0 down at home to Manchester United, who visibly moved the ball faster, have, with respect to Charlton, better players, and they're 1-0 up.
I think everybody would like to know the answer to that question,
Okay.
Russ, to be honest.
So you don't know then?
Well, I just think that Alan Kiely will ask his team to go for it. He's got nothing to lose in respect of he's got to try and get a better quality ball into Lisbie in particular with his pace. That may be the one factor that could undo Manchester United at the back. And at the moment, Euell and Lisbie have not been given the best service.
Well, the way Manchester United have been playing and the way Charlton actually play, they're getting a lot of balls forward, but they haven't got the physical presence, Lisbie and Euell, of out-muscling Manchester United, and that's when they struggle. So as to maybe he's going to bring on Johansson, who may be a little bit, more direct, stronger, bigger, or, I mean, they should be happy that it's only 1-0. They're still in with a chance, and, one more goal and they're back in the game. So the fact that it's 1-0 will give them hope.
Do you think there's some more goals in the remainder of this match, Clive?
Oh, definitely, yes, because of the quality that Manchester United possess, as we've seen on the counter-attack. And I just think that from set pieces, they are still vulnerable, Manchester United. That's possibly where Charlton have a glimmer of a hope.
Or a mistake, as we intimated when we looked at the Silvestre mistake from the first half. No changes to either team, I'm being told, for the second half, but of course that could change. We might see Veron come on for United in the second half. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his 13th goal of the season in all competitions. The difference between these two sides, it's coming from the Valley, which is looking pretty good as a stadium, isn't it, compared to what it was a few years ago. Manchester United 1-0 up. Can they stay that way in the lead and go top of the Premiership? We'll find out. There's another 45 minutes of football to come. And your commentary team this afternoon, as usual, Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Welcome back. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first half goal, incidentally, means that Manchester United have now scored in every single away game in the Premiership this season. 30 goals they've scored on opponents' territory, more than anyone else in the table. No changes of personnel made by either manager during the half-time break. Manchester United, need I remind you, in their change strip today of white shirts and black shorts. Silvestre for them. Made one mistake in the first half that could have led to a goal. Carroll coming to his rescue. Carroll in for the injured Barthez. The Frenchman has a recurrence of his back problem. Suggestion of handball there against Phil Neville, and then of Beckham carrying the ball out of play. The latter agreed to by the linesman. Powell. Stuart, bit of room for the Charlton captain. Didn't last long though, did it? Back in possession again. Once again, United quickly regain possession. Solskjaer's header to Van Nistelrooy. Back he goes again to the little Norwegian, who finds Giggs. Danger here for Charlton. Silvestre. Solskjaer dropping off to make that yard of room. So good at that, so good at so many things. Beckham. Stuart pursuing him all the way. Giggs with a little step over, well read by Scott Parker. Difficult bounce here for Gary Neville, and he needed the assistance of Silvestre. Now Laurent Blanc. Keane, who had a really outstanding first half, but his mistake giving possession to Parker. who presents it straight back to United. Beckham looking for the run by Ruud van Nistelrooy. And Nistelrooy working hard to win it back in typical style. And Giggs finding Solskjaer. Good save by Kiely. Can he recover again? Well, very nearly a fatal moment for Charlton.
Well, that's a great save from Dean Kiely, but wonderful play, very inventive, very precise. And just look at the determination of Ruud van Nistelrooy to win that ball back. It's a clever ball from Ryan Giggs, has to be of the right sort of weight, and it very nearly is to Solskjaer again.
Beckham will take the corner. Couldn't quite reach the knockdown. Scholes could. Bart-Williams comes out with the ball. A claim for handball has been ignored. Lisbie. Good challenge by Phil Neville. Giggs. 20 forward still for United from the earlier corner. Here's Scholes. Keane. Now Scholes. On it goes to Beckham. Really skied the cross. Keane brings it down beautifully. And Solskjaer's shot just wide.
Well, this is the difficulty that Charlton have got now. They have to try and get an equaliser, so the game is going to get stretched, and when it does get stretched, Manchester United will exploit that space. This is very unfortunate. Good technique, wasn't it, from Solskjaer? On the edge of the box, he's looking very bright, looking very sharp today, and of course has got the goal that separates the two teams.
United on course to return to the top of the Premiership. They've still got some tough fixtures. Arsenal at home, Leeds and Chelsea away in the run-in to the Championship. Young's cross off Silvestre, the first corner of the second half for Charlton.
Well, you almost need that either one of the full-backs, whether that's Young or Powell on the left-hand side, to try and overlap either Robinson or Stuart, get into that last third, get into wide areas, and look to get Bolton into the box for the front two of Euell and Lisbie.
Silvestre keeping a close eye on Fish. But he still reached it. What a chance that was. And Euell knows it.
Well, that's the second time that Charlton have gone for this particular move, that near post, great little flick on, and you really would have expected Euell to score. And there you can see Fish really beats Beckham to the ball far too easily. And Jason Euell, well, 9 goals this season. He's a player that's been in form for Charlton over the last 2 or 3 months. Bitterly disappointed not to convert what was an excellent chance.
Especially with his previous record against Manchester United for Wimbledon. Gary Neville misjudging the bounce and then recovering well. The wind's still really blustery here. If anything, it seems to be blowing across the pitch at the moment. Kiely stayed calm, returning it to Luke Young. Now Mark Fish. Nothing much on ahead of him. And Young's given it away. Carroll's clearance not too convincing. Straight to Stuart, who tried to return it with interest. Now Bart-Williams. Powell. Euell in close support, so too Bart-Williams still. That's a decent ball in, but again United defend well, and again look threatening on the break. Beckham to Van Nistelrooy. Beckham continues his run. Oh, good interception by Fish, and a very important one from Charlton's point of view.
Well, it was. It really was an excellent interception by Mark Fish. They're taking the opportunity to get forward now.
Came off injured last week at Middlesbrough, a knee problem. Long ball by Costa, far too long. Carroll will be closed down here by Euell. A better clearance this time from the Northern Ireland keeper. Back in it goes towards Lisbie. Gary Neville had to win that header. Lisbie was unmarked behind him. Jason Euell doing really well here, but not, however, with the shot.
Well, they seem to have got a little bit of spark, haven't they, from that opportunity that Jason Euell did have from the corner kick that was flicked on near post. Seems as if it's given the home side a little bit more belief.
Robinson. Scholes claimed it was handball by the Welsh international, not given. Gary Neville stepping in to win it back for United. That's a lovely little ball. Solskjaer. Suddenly space opens up. Beckham. Solskjaer still. Well, he played the ball blind and didn't realise it was Bart-Williams behind him. Now Robinson. Parker. Little space on the left for Chris Powell, and beyond him is Lisbie. Robinson. Dink back towards Lisbie again. Well, the cross come shot, if you can call it that, by Robinson was well off target.
Well, it's a lot better though, isn't it, from Charlton Athletic? And Alan will be a little bit happier. He knows his side have got to get back into this game. They're one behind, but it was noticeable when Charlton did go forward. There was 3-4 players in that attacking third, and that's something they didn't do in the first half. They were quite content to play with 2 banks of 4 and leave the front 2 isolated.
Nistelrooy earns a free kick. Costa not too happy with the award. Charlton have still got some very tough fixtures remaining, by the way. They've got to go to Newcastle, Liverpool, Leeds, and indeed to Manchester United, which will be their final game of the season in May. They ought to be all right with 33 points before today, but in this of all seasons, you never know. Beckham free kick. That means trouble, but it struck his own player, Keane. Typically a wholehearted challenge between Keane and Stuart.
He's the inspiration, is he, for Manchester United, Roy Keane. As good as the players are around him, I think he's the heartbeat of this United side. And it's very noticeable that United's return to form as coincides with perhaps him getting over the injury problems that he seemed to have early on in the season.
Key man for Ireland as well in their squad for the international against Russia on Wednesday. Brave header there by Parker. Got a cloud on the head for his courage. And Nistelrooy offside.
Well, that's better defending. A lot better defending.
Bart-Williams took a risk there with Keane around and just about dug himself out of it. Over the head of Blanc to Lisbie. Turned and twisted and still kept possession well. Sets it up for Parker. Thought about hitting it. Lays it off to Robinson. They get a corner.
Well, that's far better, isn't it? Over the last 5 minutes or so, Charlton Athletic seem to be getting more and more of an impetus from an attacking sense. They know they need that equaliser. They're beginning to exert a little bit more pressure. And they're certainly looking more dangerous than they were in the first 45 minutes.
Fish again near post, a possible danger here. It's gone beyond him this time. Cleared by Gary Neville. Scholes on to Beckham. He's got Giggs to his left. And feeds a near perfect ball to Ryan Giggs. Couldn't finish what had been a splendid counter-attack.
Well, there was, wasn't it? It came from Charlton's corner. It was rapid, it was incisive, and it very nearly brought United's second goal.
Charlton have started the second half as impressively as they started the first, and the crowd sensed that. Renewed buzz around the valley now. They couldn't build on that start in the first 45 minutes. Can they this time? Phil Neville's header away. by Blanc. Solskjaer. Costa stepping in to win it back. Now Chris Powell for Charlton. Lisbie doing well against Phil Neville this time. And Gary Neville with the clearance, completed by Roy Keane. Ruud van Nistelrooy to Giggs. Good clearance under pressure, that by Carroll. Crunching challenge there by Neville on Lisbie, and the referee, I think, might be reaching for a yellow card. It'll be the first of the game.
I think this is the best time tackle that Philip Neville has made during the course of his career. It was very clumsy, and this is the first booking of the game.
Like his brother in the England squad for Wednesday's international against Holland, and also like his brother has figured in all bar one Premiership match this season. Fish getting up to win another important header. Costa couldn't creep in between Silvestre and the goalkeeper.
Well, that's brilliant defending from Mikel Silvestre, because Fish here wins the header, and it really is the bits and pieces, the scraps, good determination, just getting his body across. Costa, the central defender of Charlton Athletic, it was important, he was strong and determined, and he was. Well, we said how well Charlton have started this second half, 54% of the possession. And there's certainly a buzz about their performance at the moment. There's certainly more of a threat.
Silvestre. Solskjaer. Now Scholes for United. Here's Roy Keane. Robinson takes it on for Charlton. Fish. Robinson finding Chris Bart-Williams, who's had to go all the way back to the crowd's frustration. Silvestre has presented it straight to Parker. Looking for Euell. Blanc across to concede the corner.
Well, I talked about how well Silvestre defended in the far post moments earlier, and it was his header really that allowed Scott Parker some room in midfield once again to take the fight to Manchester United. But if Chris Bart-Williams can find the same set-piece routine, perhaps going near post, looking for Fish for the flick on.
Was the same routine. Costa tried to get his head to it as well this time. Robinson finding his way through. Fish's shot. Lisbie across the box. Costa there again, turned in by Stuart. But the linesman's flag will cancel his joy and provide more disappointment for Charlton. Offside.
Well, a great shame, but United were very adamant as soon as this ball came to Graham Stuart that he was offside. It really was fizzed around in the box. And it certainly, well, it was close, wasn't it? It really was a very narrow decision. I think it was perhaps Lisbie at the far post that looked as if he was in an offside position, but Graham Stuart, very marginal indeed.
The captain's disappointment felt by the Charlton fans here.
There was initially some very good defending from Blanc and Solskjaer that really blocked a couple of efforts, but there, as he turns that ball into the net, and the movement when Fish hits the ball across the face of the goal, it was very tight indeed.
Well, they've certainly got up a head of steam here now, Charlton. Silvestre for United. Blanc. And Fish with a well-judged header. clear the danger. Giggs, Scholes. Keane looking for Silvestre to get forward. Now Scholes. Blanc. Pressure on him in the middle of the field, but he comes out with the ball in impressive manner. Now Euell on the break for Charlton. Stuart to his left. Chris Powell thundering forward in support. Oh, what a disappointing ball. Oh, great touch by Solskjaer to Van Nistelrooy. Much better game in this second half. Powell. Well, they weren't sure whether to let that run, not knowing whether it would have been a corner or a goal kick there, the United defenders. Giggs, beautiful ball. Solskjaer, Van Nistelrooy, well defended by Costa.
Well, he had to be spot on, didn't he, the Portuguese international. Just look at how stretched this football match is. It's far better because of it. Well, from a spectator point of view anyway.
Here's Stuart. A little optimistic, even though he is in good goal-scoring form at the moment.
Well, it was his disallowed goal that could quite easily have been Charlton 1, Manchester United 1, but as this ball is fired across from Fish, well, it certainly doesn't look as if Graham Stuart, if anything, he certainly looks level. Jason Euell is in an offside position, so whether the referee's assistant perhaps has turned his eye to that particular bit of action and has seen that Graham Stuart is offside, then it certainly looked very tight indeed when Fish made the initial contact. There's a far better intent on Charlton Athletic now to go and get goals.
Neville, closed down quickly by Stuart, nonetheless finds a way out through David Beckham. Charlton's throw. Mark has given it away. And that can often prove fatal against Manchester United. Solskjaer, the goal scorer. Scholes, but space is opening up all over the field now. And Nistelrooy finding Keane. Powell knows he's got to stick really tight here. And eventually it took two Charlton players to dispossess the United captain. Sebastian Veron about to return to the United ranks, having missed the last 3 games with a knee injury. And perhaps somewhat surprising substitution in the sense of the man going off. Ruud van Nistelrooy, United's leading goal scorer.
Well, I think it'll be certainly a tactical change now. And no doubt Sir Alex Ferguson deciding really that Charlton have had a little bit too much of the play. Just trying to beef up that midfield area. And it looks as if Ryan Giggs may well just play a little bit of a floating role just behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
That's a job he's done before, many times, to perfection. Lucky bounce there for United. Solskjaer pulling it back to Giggs. Only he would have attempted to find a way through 3 players. He then claims he was tripped. Silvestre pumps it forward. And United have regained some control of the possession here. Giggs to Beckham. 3 awaiting the cross. It's gone to Keane. Now to Silvestre. again. Keane. There's a good tackle by Parker. Stuart. So look how quickly United get men back when danger threatens, which it does here still. But the ball running kindly for Roy Carroll and not for Jason Euell.
Well, he was unlucky there. Good spot from Graham Stuart. He saw that Jason Euell had one-on-one with Gary Neville. Perhaps the pace of the ball just beat the Charlton forward.
Silvestre. Bart-Williams hooking it on, but the space wasn't occupied by any Charlton players. Three-quarters of the way through the match. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's goal still separates the sides. A victory for Manchester United, a draw even, will see them return to the top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership. Euell. Now Bart-Williams. Space on the left here for Charlton. Powell has Stuart ahead of him. Parker. Here's Bart-Williams. On it goes to Robinson. Luke Young's taking the defenders away. Now has possession himself. He did very well with it. Wins a corner, in fact.
That's not often you get a nutmeg. One Sebastian Veron, but that's exactly what Luke Young did.
Yeah, one to tell the grandchildren about one day. Very good player in his own right, of course, Luke Young. Well, the previous corners have been floated into the direction of Mark Fish. So is this one. The keeper gets it away. Robinson straight back into the crowd. And would you believe it went straight back to the keeper?
Well, they certainly get fortunate, don't they? But corners have troubled Manchester United, in particular that one that Chris Bart-Williams has just floated to the near post.
Well, it's certainly been the best spell of the game, the opening 20 minutes of this second half. Here's Stuart. But Charlton still cannot trouble Carroll. They've got a free kick.
Just really trying to get some momentum through keeping possession. Manchester United seems to be coming back at them very quickly. Full credit to Charlton. They really have been superb in this second period.
Haven't beaten United in the last 5 meetings, 4 defeats and a draw. It's over 12 years now since their last win against them. Floats the free kick in towards Fish. Well, almost a misunderstanding there between goalkeeper and Laurent Blanc.
Well, it really was just a bog-standard free kick, wasn't it? Floated in behind. And if Costa perhaps had taken more of a gamble.
Slice clearance there by Kiely. Kept in play brilliantly by Stuart. And then Beckham with the challenge. Good meaty challenge followed that, and an even meatier one by Roy Keane.
Again, no sensible refereeing. How often have we seen over the course of the season yellow cards coming out for fun, really? And Roy Keane on Scott Parker. It's just a late-time tackle by the United skipper. But more pressure now on United. They'll get forced back to the edge of the box. An opportunity now for Charlton to make a substitution to try and spice up the attack.
Just offering the last-minute instructions here. So I'm not quite sure who's coming off, are they? Well, we are now, because it's the number of Graham Stuart that's being held up. Matthias Svensson, the Swedish international, will take his place. Svenson's had less than an hour of first-team football this season after a pre-season knee injury. He's now been on as a sub in 5 of the last 6 games. Can he make the difference? He's got an immediate chance to try and do so. going forward for the free kick. Giggs dispossessed. Svensson gets his first touch. Wasn't the best ball back in by Lisbie. He's got to really race back now as United break with Keane. Beckham to his right. Solskjaer and Giggs ahead of him. And he picks out Giggs. Great effort. And a very good save by Kiely, but the rebound turned in, as usual, by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's 2-0 to United. It might just be game, set, and match.
Well, they're furious, the Charlton players, and perhaps they've got some sort of credentials for a free kick against Ryan Giggs. This is a ball from David Beckham, but eventually gets to a great drive again from Roy Keane. And it's Charlton's attack that's now turned into Charlton defending, but as this ball from Beckham, Charlton felt incensed. They thought there was just a nudge from Ryan Giggs, but what a fabulous strike on the turn from the Welsh international. And it's a half chance, that's all it is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And there's the claim that Charlton felt there was a free kick, but the ball from Beckham, just a little nudge from Ryan Giggs, but it's a half chance that this fella makes the most of.
Incredible finish, wasn't it, by Solskjaer? Oh, almost an incredible immediate strike back by Parker for Charlton.
Well, again, it's a real kick in the teeth, isn't it, for Charlton Athletic, conceding that goal, having really dominated the second period. Good strike from Scott Parker. He's trying to lift his team. It really is an uphill task now. He may well shake his head, but it's that fella there with his second goal of the game. And it was the merest of half chances.
Reminiscent of that fabulous Giggs goal against Fulham at Craven Cottage, where there didn't seem any way he could squeeze it in, but he did. And Charlton find themselves conceding a second during their best spell of the game. But how often has that happened to other teams against Manchester United? 66 Premiership goals for them now. And 2 more today for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, taking his total for the season to 14. Crowd unhappy again, feeling that there was a handball there by Scholes. Solskjaer on a hat-trick now. Veron. Lisbie, the player I think was involved in that incident with Giggs when Charlton were insistent that they should have had a free kick. But that's all gone now. They've got to forget that, stop feeling sorry for themselves and try and get back into this game with 15 minutes remaining. Parker. That's a great run by Parker. Euell. Here's the problem, perfectly demonstrated for Charlton. When they lose possession, pouring men forward, there's no better team at hitting you on the break than the champions. Solskjaer's offside, however, this time.
This is the second goal for Manchester United, perhaps the goal that puts Charlton out of reach. That's the little nudge that they felt they should have had a free kick for. It's a fabulous strike from Ryan Giggs, and there when I think Chrissy Powell thought he'd just done enough to shepherd the ball away, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wraps his right leg around the Charlton defender and knocks it in for United's second and his second of the game.
Lisbie, not a bad effort. I suppose in fairness to Mr. Wiley, it would have been a difficult one for him to see from where he was. Once again, you do wonder whether he might have had more help from his linesman.
Well, I don't think it's a convincing attempt for a free kick. You know, it was the slightest of nudges, and people would argue and say, well, we've seen him given up and down the country week in, week out, but I thought that Kevin Lisbie may well have been a little bit stronger in that situation.
Costa. Clearance by Fish. Charlton have got to keep believing. Having taken off through Van Nistelrooy, they're now going to take off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. who's scored 2 quite typical Solskjaer goals in this game. One in his place, the new signing, Forlan, in his 3rd appearance this, 2 substitute appearances so far against Bolton and Sunderland. And in each of those games, incidentally, Manchester United ended up with 4 goals to their credit. Scholes, Blanc, and back from David Beckham to Gary Neville. Veron. Scholes, a lovely angle ball. Keane. Veron. Oh, what a ball for Beckham if it stays. Nope, just caught up a little bit of pace off the surface.
Well, it hasn't been an emphatic Manchester United performance by any means, but when they do get chances, and it sometimes only takes half chances, they've got that quality in their side to take full advantage. That certainly sets them apart from a lot of other sides in this division.
Now they're on Scholes. Manchester United set to return to the top of the table and bidding, of course, to become the first club in history to win 4 successive league titles. It will be their 15th in all. Lisbie for Charlton. Wins the throw off Silvestre. Another change on the way, this time for Charlton. Johansson, last season's top scorer, getting ready. Forlan. And a break on. Once again, Keane leading it. Doesn't get too far this time. But he won't let Costa have an easy ride, and he's forced him into the error. Then Veron was caught by Luke Young as he played the ball away to Beckham. Certainly guilty of holding. The foul on Svensson, and a free kick, and Charlton will use the opportunity. They're stopping play, I think, to make their next substitution, will they? Or maybe they'll wait till the free kick's out of the way. Into the last 10 minutes at the Valley. Charlton 0, Manchester United 2. Of course, gone through the entire crowd of players. Silvestre finally hooks it away. Forlan to Veron. The 2 South Americans combine again. Now Keane, Forlan. Given away to Jason Euell. There's a nice little touch by Svensson, who was then brought down.
He's not afraid to put himself about Svensson. It's another opportunity to play a free kick in, but Alan Kiely is going to elect to make these substitutions now.
Yeah, double change he's decided on. Luke Young and Kevin Lisbie, the players who will be replaced by Paul Konchesky and Johansson. Not sure that's right, actually. It seems to be Jason Euell trotting over. Another free kick for Charlton. And they take advantage. Powell plays it in towards Costa. Clearance by Keane. Forlan brought down. And Luke Young, who stays on, concedes the free kick. Gary Neville. It's an interesting looking ball. Beckham just unable to get on the end of it. Parker dispossessed by Veron. And United win a corner late on.
Well, this is all very frustrating, isn't it, for Charlton? They came out in the second half, 1-0 down. But that strike from Giggs that was parried by Dean Kiely, pounced upon by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has put the game beyond their reach now.
Gary Neville. Well, his last goal was over a year ago. His average is 1 in every 100 for Manchester United, so I suppose he was never really likely to trouble the keeper there.
Looks like Nicky Butt's getting warmed up as well, and in a nice position now. Manchester United 2-0 ahead, 6-7 minutes to go.
Foul on Svensson. To Robinson. It was a half chance for sure.
Well, it was more than a half chance. This ball really needs to have been played back across the face of the goal by John Robinson, and he knows oh too well it needed a better contact than that.
It was his late equaliser that brought about the 3-3 draw in the corresponding match last season. No such luck for Charlton this time. Well, it wasn't a matter of luck then either. They merited the point, but I don't think they're going to get anything out of today. The 3 points that seem to be on the way to Old Trafford will take Manchester United to 24 points, but they could have a problem here as Bart-Williams shoots. Well, it's not been Charlton's day.
Well, they haven't been able to capitalise it on when United have given them opportunities. This is the ball from Paul Scholes. It falls short of Laurent Blanc. Can't really get it out of their feet. First Johansson, second Chris Bart-Williams.
The last 5 minutes being played at the Valley, and United about to go 2 points ahead of Liverpool and Newcastle at the top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership table. Unless there is real late drama here, which frankly it's hard to see happening. Parker. Blanc wins it back. And Phil Neville. Charlton had their spell, they've had their moments in this game. Like so many before them, they've found that Manchester United were ruthless in punishing them. And Alan Kirbishley still awaits his first victory over Manchester United as a manager. This was his 5th attempt today. Another substitution on the way. Nicky Butt, another United man in the England squad, is going to get a few minutes of action. Young closed down by Veron. Here's Svensson. It's a lovely return ball for Johansson. Blanc. Oh, I don't believe that. I want to see a replay of that.
Who said he's
drag back at the edge of the 6-yard box?
Who said he's losing it?
He's too panicky, really, isn't he, Laurent Blanc? He ought to learn to slow down and just calm it down a little bit more.
A bit more composure, really, needed, isn't it?
Parker. Crossed by Powell, Blanc's third again, a more orthodox clearance this time. Luke Young. Robinson. And it's Veron who wins it back. Hasty clearance by Carroll, who's about to keep intact his record of never having been on the losing side for Manchester United in the Premiership. Here's Nicky Butt is now about to be brought on. Ryan Giggs is the man who goes off. This time by Silvestre. He's given it away to Keane. Push surely by Chris Powell. The ref's not given it this time. Parker. That's a good ball. Konchesky. And the interception by Gary Neville. Forlan's layoff to Beckham. I don't quite know how he managed that, and he's gone down. Injured David Beckham worryingly in the dying moments of the game.
I was wondering whether it's the same ankle that he got injured in the first half. It certainly was a little bit of skill by David Beckham, just inviting the challenges. And it's Scott Parker that comes right across the right foot, I think it was, of David Beckham. He's not very happy.
Parker goes across to apologise. And Beckham looking a bit distraught at the moment.
Well, it's painful, isn't it, when you get studs right across the top of your foot, but we can have a look at that piece of ability from Laurent Blanc, just winking to one of his teammates. This ball comes in from Jonathan Johansson. Whoop, there you go, 2 T's.
Yeah, he said, I've been doing that for years, not a problem. Beckham is able to walk off. Let me remind you that our next game on this channel is on Saturday, March the 2nd. And what a game it is. Newcastle United against Arsenal from St James's Park. That kicks off at 5:30 p.m. Kiely's gone on a little bit of walkabout here. And Laurent Blanc's there again to calmly bring it down. Back on the field. He got an injury early in the first half and late in the second, and he's still limping a little bit. There'll be an additional 4 minutes. Well, if it had been still 1-0, that would have been the signal, I'm sure, for the Charlton fans to start cheering again in the hope that their team could get something. But 2 goals. Well, it's unlikely. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely. Fish. In towards Svensson, over his head. Phil Neville got it away, and Carroll just about prevented the ball crossing the line for a corner.
He did very well, the United goalkeeper. But he got a whack in his back for his trouble, but Svensson actually has made a bit of a difference for Charlton. He's quite happy to put himself about.
With Fabien Barthez injured, back injury, looks like some kind of hip or back problem for his replacement Roy Carroll here.
Well, he gets cordially from Paul Konchesky. I think it was purely accidental, but perhaps the knee of Konchesky just catches Roy Carroll in the bottom of his back. And it's quite ironic, isn't it, that he's taking the place of Fabien Barthez, because Barthez's injury seems to be the result of a back problem.
Just as well it's so late in the game, because they've used all 3 substitutes now. They did have Raymond van der Houw on the bench, but he's got to stay there because 3 outfield players already on. Tries to test him, and he wasn't able to move very freely there either, Carroll. He is struggling a little bit.
Well, he really is struggling somewhat at the moment, the Northern Ireland International. It's not long to go now. Sir Alex, well, anybody doubt in his desire and his determination to lead Manchester United to potentially another championship.
Svensson on, looking for Johansson, cleared by Silvestre. Into the final minute or so now. Veron for United. Is there time for a bit of icing on the cake for them? Keane. Veron. Nicky Butt's overplayed that, but at least it's kept the ball at the opposite end of the field. Konchesky making sure it didn't go out. And now delivering it long for Svensson. Took that down beautifully. Johansson takes it on. Free kick.
It's a brave effort, isn't it, by the home side. They haven't given up in this second period. Found themselves 2 goals down. They have given their manager everything.
And perhaps a chance to at least dent the goal difference from Manchester United's point of view a little and help Charlton's own, because Carroll can't move freely at the moment behind that defensive wall. Well, he didn't do too bad, did he?
Well, Chris Bart-Williams felt he'd scored a very similar goal to that against Derby County a few weeks ago from a free kick. That area of the field wasn't far away, got it on target.
High challenge there. Gary Neville feeling just above his knee as Costa came in on him. I'm sure Sir Alex will agree this has not been a vintage performance by any means from Manchester United's point of view and by their high standards, but these are exactly the type of difficult games that you have to win if you want to become champions, and win they have done. There goes the final whistle. Charlton Athletic have been beaten. Manchester United's roll continues. 11 wins from their last 12 Premiership matches. They've now moved on to 54 points. They're back on top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership, 2 points ahead of this morning's leaders, Liverpool. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has contributed another 2 goals to his and United's total for the season. Over 100 goals have been scored in their 27 Premiership matches now, a remarkable total. 66 of them are in the goals for column from Manchester United's point of view. David Beckham had a couple of knocks in each half of the game. Hopefully he'll be all right to join his 4 United teammates in the England squad for the international against Holland on Wednesday. Standing goalkeeper Roy Carroll also got a late injury, but it didn't make any difference. And Manchester United, you have to say, have done it again.
Well, they call Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the baby-faced assassin, and that's exactly what he's proved to be, hasn't he? The limited opportunities for him, but fabulous ball from Roy Keane. Mark Fish gets caught in behind. It's a great first touch and an equally clinical finish, but we've seen him do it time and time again. As you've said already, Alan, it hasn't been a vintage Manchester United performance, and 1 or 2 chances that they managed to carve out. Charlton a little bit unfortunate, I felt. Graham Stuart converting a chance that was set up by Mark Fish, but the referee's assistant decided Stuart was in an offside position. It was marginal, and this was a controversy. Charlton felt there was a little nudge by Ryan Giggs on Kevin Lisbie, but that was merest of half chances from Solskjaer, and he put it away for United's second, his second. It wasn't comprehensive, but it was enough, and it's about results as far as United's concerned, and that quest to win their 4th consecutive title.
Well, who's going to stop them? At the beginning of December, it looked as though they weren't even going to figure in the championship race. Sir Alex Ferguson himself virtually said that. But not now. Manchester United go back to the top of the table. Only Liverpool have beaten them in their last 12 Premiership matches. 2 goals today by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's been a very successful day again for the men from Old Trafford. Our next game on this channel, March the 2nd, Newcastle against Arsenal, 5:30 start.
More reaction from the Valley coming up, and a word or two with John Barnes and Clive Allen as well. Manchester United 2-0 winners against Charlton this afternoon. They're top of the Premiership again, you know. Hello, welcome back. So Manchester United have won at Charlton Athletic this afternoon by 2-0. Let's confirm that they are top of the Barclaycard Premiership. There they are, Charlton in 10th position. Arsenal have just kicked off in their match at Goodison Park against Everton. No score as far as we know at the moment. If we get any scores in the next 5 or 10 minutes while we're still on the air, obviously we will let you know. David Ginola, by the way, starting for Everton, so him and Gaz may be pretty interesting. Leicester City, as you probably saw there, rock bottom of the Premiership, not looking too good for them. Gentlemen, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we'll look at some other aspects of his game in a minute, but the finishing, exceptional, Clive.
Oh, I think there's been absolutely no doubt. We know of his quality, and a lot of people have called him the super sub, coming off the bench, and he's been able to find the back of the net regularly. But I think it's almost a new lease of life for him now, pairing up with Van Nistelrooy. But there's so much more to his game other than goals. But this is what he's all about. This is what he's at when he's at his best. That is a magnificent first touch. So many times you see players get a half an opportunity there, and the first touch, he doesn't get the second touch to have a strike at goal. That was exquisite. And then this is the build up to the second. I thought it was a foul by Giggs on Lisbie. It's a good save, but really Chris Powell should have done better at the far post. But there's a poacher extraordinaire, because he knows he sniffs half a chance. There's the shove by Giggs on Lisbie, and the referee's in a perfect position to give it. I think that Alan Kirby should be absolutely furious about that, because 2-0 and the game was then beyond Charlton. But there's a fantastic goal scorer.
John, strikers at Manchester United. Andy Cole's gone to Blackburn. Dwight York is well and truly out of favour. What is it that Alex Ferguson sees in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Well, he knows all about his finishing ability. But of course, when you have Dwight York and Andy Cole, as they were a couple of years ago, firing on all cylinders, it's always going to be difficult to find a place for him. But he kept him happy. His character is also important, you know, because you have to be happy to come on and to play now and again, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously was. And now he's reaping the rewards of his patience, because now, and I'm sure he didn't expect it, even when Van Nistelrooy coming, because Cole was still there, York was still there, and he really is now the one to partner Van Nistelrooy. His movement is excellent, his hold-up play, I mean, here he was unfortunate when the ball came through, but his all-round play is very good. Here his awareness just to bring people into play.
He's shaking off this super sub tag now, isn't he, as well?
Well, to be honest, we didn't know whether he was a super sub or not, because he always was sub, because he wasn't really given a decent run in the side. So of course he was a super sub because he kept scoring goals. But with his quality, if you give him chances, he will score goals. He's got the confidence now to know that he's the #1 striker alongside Van Nistelrooy, and he will just continue to score goals.
Well, we've talked about him enough. Let's see what he's got to say now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is with Dave Jones.
Well, Ollie, what do you think of that Manchester United performance today?
Obviously we're happy with the clean sheet and 3 points, but they're a difficult side to play against. They put men in the box, play long balls, and I think they put us under pressure second half.
Were you surprised how hard they made you work?
No, not really, because last year we were 3-1 up and we threw that away, and it ended up 3-3, so we knew it was going to be a battle till the end.
Manchester United didn't have too many chances today, but when they did, you made the most of them. Is that what you specialise in?
Yeah, today we didn't really create too many chances, but you have to take the ones you get to get results away from home, because it's a difficult ground to come to.
Now that first goal, you sort of lulled them into a false sense of security and then hit them on the break. Do you sometimes encourage teams to come onto you, to give you some space?
I think we've got pace up front. We got Giggs who can run quicker than anyone with the ball. So yeah, we can do both things now. You can play with the ball and without it as well.
That's 9 in 13 for you now as well, Ollie. Do you feel you've made yourself Ruud's natural partner up there?
I don't think on it that way. I just try to make the decision difficult for the manager to leave me out next time.
There was a bit of complaint from Charlton about the second goal. They felt maybe Ryan Giggs had pushed his marker. Did you see anything wrong with it?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Obviously, when the play goes on, you just have to do what you can.
Now, of course, this is the first game that you've played since Alex Ferguson announced he was going to be staying.
Yep.
How much has it meant to the players, that?
It means a lot for us. It gives the players a great boost, because we know what's required of us now, and we know what's expected from us in the next few years.
Could the club be in better hands for the next couple of years?
No.
Thanks, Ollie. Well, you are man of the match today. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Well done, Ollie. Thanks for your time.
2 goals for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer today. A man who plays to the whistle, of course, which you should always
Absolutely.
do. He was very diplomatic, I thought, in that answer.
Oh, I think he showed his character, as John said. It is about character.
I think that was a definite free kick.
Yeah.
You know, and Ollie, I'm sure that he would know also.
Yes.
So
good answer, though.
But he's got,
very good.
He's got great character, as you can see. You know, he asked a question as to whether he feels he's his natural partner, and you know, you can't take nothing for granted at Manchester United, and he's obviously showed a lot of humility, and I'm happy for him because he's waited a long time for his chance.
Let's have a quick word about Charlton. They started the second half pretty well and looked threatening on 1 or 2 occasions, particularly from set pieces, which when we were talking before the match, you thought
I just
that would
felt
be the
that
case.
that was going to be their best opportunity in the second half. This is flicked on by Fish, and it is a chance for you. I think Roy Keane actually does quite well just to get across it. And this is slightly contentious, so I have to say at the time we sat here and called offside as Fish hooks this one back in, and certainly for me, Stuart is just offside.
I've seen them given though, because you know you talk about favouring the attackers, because you can see Blanc's right foot is actually in line, but his body is a bit further forward, and as the ball comes across, Stuart is probably slightly offside. You can understand why the linesman gives that, because as soon as he looks up, he sees him clearly offside, but it was a little bit closer than actually the camera showed.
But for Manchester United, a very good afternoon's work, isn't it? At the top of the Premiership again after good performances from Liverpool and Newcastle.
Yeah, and again, it is the hallmark of champions because of the results yesterday. They dropped down a couple of places. They knew they had to come to London, and what potentially was a difficult game off the back of a 3-3 draw last season, and they've done exactly what was needed, got themselves back on top.
OK, talk some more in just a minute. Now, there's some pretty important matches happening in the nationwide First Division today. Let's give you some scores. Full-time, Manchester City 3, Preston North End 2, a 5-goal thriller at Main Road. Watford 2, Grimsby Town 0. That's a later score. 2 sendings off in that match as well. And West Brom, who are going so well in the First Division at the moment, 1-0 up against Norwich City, and of course tonight our match on the ITV Sport Channel, Bradford City against Birmingham City. And Matt Smith brings you that one a little bit later on. So Alex Ferguson has got another victory under his belt and a big fat contract waving in front of him. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Well, Alex, at what point were you able to relax today?
Probably 90th minute, but because they made it very, very difficult for us. A real lively pitch, difficult to pass the ball in it. And Charlton played the right way. They played everything forward and made us contest everything. A lot of aerial play, and it was really difficult for us.
Second half in particular, they seemed to really step up a gear. Why was that? Do you think that they were able to get into it more?
Well, they 1-0 down, and they're obviously they're going to try and push for that equaliser. And the way they did it was quite interesting. You know, the players flooding into the box and plenty of balls played in there, which meant, you know, you're under pressure all the time. And if a difficult surface like that, a lively surface, it was difficult for us to get the ball down and play our passing game. They tailored their game to suit the conditions, I think.
You've had a couple of goals on the break today. Sometimes do you encourage teams to come on to you so you can hit them?
No, necessarily, no. You have to play the game the way it is. They had a lot of possession and a lot of pressure around about the edge of our box. So you hope that when you get possession, our quickness will give us opportunities to counter-attack, which we did. The first goal in particular was like that, and it was a marvellous piece of skill by Ole Gunnar. One touch and a great finish.
Sir Alex Ferguson on the Big Match Live. Now, don't forget, you can watch Bradford City against Birmingham City live on the Sport Channel from 5:30 tonight. And on Saturday, keep up to date with all the FA Cup news, and there's a preview of the continuation of the second phase of the Champions League with On the Ball. And don't forget, tomorrow night, you can catch up with all the Premiership news and talking points with Gabby at 11:30. So Manchester United, top of the Premiership. Let's just swap away from that subject for a moment, talk about England. David Beckham took a couple of knocks in that game we've just seen. Will he travel, do you think?
I think he'll probably travel, but a couple of incidents here. One where Euell's tracking back, catches him on the foot, and this one, Parker, he just drags the ball back, and you see his studs on the top of his boot looked very painful. He was far from happy with that challenge, and you just wonder, with the Champions League kicking in the week after next as well, whether he would be risked in the friendly game this week.
John, what did you make of Sven-Göran Eriksson's England squad for this game in Holland that might not be under a roof now? It depends on the weather. He's left Sheringham, he's left Andy Cole out, Robbie Fowler. Do you think that they're all certain to go to the World Cup?
I think 2 of the 3 of them are certain to go.
Who do you think won't go?
I think probably Robbie Fowler and Sheringham are the ones who will go.
Okay.
And it's a chance for him to look at Vassell and to look at Ricketts. You know, so it's a chance. I think he said to the 2 of the 3 boys, you know, you're in the squad or you're ahead of you. I just want ahead of these 2 players coming in, but I want to have a look at them and see what. So a lot's made up of the fact that the 3 of them aren't there, but I think at least 2 of them are certain to go.
And Ledley King, Clive, a young player, is really impressed, isn't he?
Yes,
he's in that squad too.
He did. He's done fantastically well for the under-21s. It is a natural progression through now, and I think he could stake a late claim, but I doubt very much he'd actually make the final squad.
And how do you think they'll do against Holland? Briefly, a quick score prediction.
I think with the young players and the opportunities that Sven's giving, I'm going to go for an England 1-0 victory.
Okay, John?
I'll go for a draw.
Will you? Thought you might. Great to have your company once again, boys. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. The big match live was at the Valley today. Manchester United had to win to go top of the Premiership, and they scored 2 goals from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do exactly that. Charlton, they're in 10th place. It's going okay for them. We'll see you soon.